Some people think of Australia as one of our world's 7 continents, while others may remember a famous address from Finding Nemo, P. Sherman 42, Wallaby Way, Sydney. We also assume that Australia is mostly desert, with kangaroos roaming around. Also some beaches where people can surf the waves.
About 1,000 miles from the everyday, there's a place that's a bit more adventurous. And you don't have to catch a plane to get there, you've just got to think Australian. Come on into Outback Steakhouse, where our brand new...
There are some places like this that try to bring some of Australia's culture, which in this case is food, trying to let visitors imagine that the food is exactly like the kind you would get if you were actually in Australia having a cookout. However, there are those who stereotype Australian people and their customs. Here is an example of a stereotype on Aussie women. This is an example of a stereotype on Aussie men. When we stereotype Australia, we also think of men hunting for crocodiles in the swamp, or wrestling with them like this famous crocodile hunter. Does this famous actor fit the stereotype as well? Before, things were worse for some Australians. For almost a century, tens of thousands of Indigenous Australians were forced to work for pastoral stations, missions, and government reserves, reports Verica Jokic. Between 1860 up to 1970, Aborigines of all ages had to work on cattle and sheep properties. Some people worked 16 hours a day. There were people suffering from infections and contagious diseases. People were convicted of crimes, and there was prostitution. There was also discrimination in Australia. In 1896, several colonies, including New South Wales, passed bills aimed at prohibiting the immigration of Asians, Africans, and Polynesians, so no Pacific Islander was allowed to enter Australia because they were dealing with non-European immigration. Some Aussies consider themselves to be polite and caring, but that is not always the case. There are some people who believe that Australians are lazy, drunk, and racist people.
One day a lady says to me, "It sucks to be you," and I said to her, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, one, you're black, and you know, you would receive racism, and on the other hand, you're Muslim and you're wearing the terrorist hat on your head."
So by the end...
However, there are those who fight against racism and show that not all Australians are racist. So overall, we shouldn't keep living in the past to make judgment or stereotypes on other people, because times have changed, and now we all just need a different attitude towards one another, and not let others be inferior of ourselves.